Hello, today I'm gonna show you my recent game of chess that was indeed a roller coaster of great and terrible moves. That showed some great attacking from the enemy that met with my, either say, good defense. But the game obviously starts in an opening that I feel like I played pretty well, I dare say. So, I play as the white, and I start with pawn e4. He responds with e5. I attack with f3. Here he defends with knight c6. I move into Italian game. He replies with Duke of Piano opening, which I play this move to avoid possible Drexel gambit with also this move h3, so I can then proceed for the fried liver. So here comes the knight. I avoid Drexel by this. He castles. Here I push my pawn. He attacks the bishop. That is well defended, so for trade. But his knight moved, so I capture the free pawn here. His knight would be just there doing absolutely nothing, so he grabs the bishop. I recapture with the knight I used to capture the pawn he left. There he pushes to attack my knight. I capture with the pawn, captures with the bishop, and he captures with a knight, and I attack his bishop, creating this sort of pyramid of knights. Here he retreats the bishop, and here I play queen, possibly threatening some attacks along the king side, but also allowing to castle king side in just 2 moves, after developing a bishop and then castling. Because I did not want to castle king side because of these bishops eyeing down my king side. There he moves his rook. I was like, oh, he can pin it. He can pin my knight after he moves, so he can go like this, and I can't capture it because of the pin. So I tried to break the pin, allowing this capture that he did not do. He threatened this fork, to which, after a bit of thinking, I replied with castling. He took the free pawn, obviously. I attacked the knight. He retreats back, threatening this pawn, and this pawn is also hanging by two ways. Yet I move my queen, obviously allowing both pawns to hang. But I was trying to go for something like this, pinning the pawn. He's like, ah, hell no, I ain't gonna let myself get pinned. So he moves, which I try to kick out the knight. He retreats. I attack it, also threatening this fork, to which he, after half a minute of thinking, takes with the knight. Here I recapture with my queen to threaten this pin once again, possibly exploiting this. Here he pushes the pawn, allowing his queen to move and not defend this pawn from the rook. So here I play the bishop move I talked about. Here I was like, oh yeah, if he just plays this, I can recapture with my knight. He takes, and his king side is pretty much broken, so I'll sacrifice some stuff, but I can get away with it. But no, I miscalculated, and he played a bishop. He played, I think, great move, threatening the pawn behind the queen, also attacking my queen and the knight behind it with a rook. So I move my queen to the side, again possibly threatening this, even though it's defended. But after like some captures, I may be able to grab this pawn and threaten his king side, was what I was thinking. So here he took. The engine wants him to take the bishop straight away. But since my rook and a pawn are hanging right now, I was really thinking of throwing the checkmate here once more, to which he basically just, well, took the pawn. So I threatened the rook, which he did not want to let go. So he slid it over, and I slid my rook to save it as well. Here he grows the pawn, attacking my knight twice. So I move it, attacking the bishop, also defending my pawn. Here he, well, obviously blunders, because this knight can just jump right back where it was and capture knight. Again, threatening possibly this bishop, and if the rook moves, this fork as well. He moves his queen. Then I attack the queen with the rook, with obvious idea to like threaten the back rank because of my queen eyeing down this. Here he slides his queen and gets my knight pinned, I guess. So I check. Here the engine wanted me to sort of trade queens. I don't know how on earth will I be better here, but there was idea something like this: captures, the recaptures, takes back, takes the queen, something like that. I go ahead and check. The king moves. Here again, the engine wanted to exchange the queens in a way. I check again, maintaining the defense of my knight. Here he slides over. Here I could have repeated the move, but I did not really feel like it because of his time also. Here I push my rook forward, obviously trying to get my rook behind it and create a battery that can attack the back rank. Here he develops the bishop, connecting his rooks, so rendering this basically unusable. Yeah, I was thinking about some sacrifices here that I could have made, but I did not really. Here there was a sacrifice like this, that if he took with the rook, well, first of all, here I captured a queen, but the queen, if it was anywhere else, it would work, but since it could have captured by the queen, it did not, so therefore I did not play it. Here, that's a miss again, after me having 4-point advantage. This play, I still don't know what exactly the idea was, but here he attacked my queen. I checked him. Here he blocked. I retreated my queen with the idea of this, and also maintaining the defense of the knight. Here he moves. I try to pin the rook and threaten checkmate like this. He attacks my knight. I do that, obviously, well, hanging a knight, but there was a checkmate. So that's the first thing he needed to defend. To which he replied with a great move of capturing the rook, which obviously has to be captured like this, which again hangs the knight. So I moved my queen there to cut off the king and create some pressure on this knight, on this bishop, sorry. Here he captures the free pawn, and here I sacrifice the rook. Here I sacrifice the rook for the bishop. He grows with the pawn, obviously, and I check him. Here he moved. Again, this. Here is a double attack on this pawn, which I well saw, but I don't feel like there's much I can do about it. So I just let it be. Here I checked again. He blocked with a queen, so I attacked his rook. Obviously, he took the pawn, the free pawn, threatening something like this. So I started checking. Check. Defense by the queen. Check down. King moves. Here, the idea was to keep checking, to force a perpetual check. Therefore, a draw or a win for me, since my time was low, but his time was less than a minute. Sorry, just close to a minute. with me having such opportunities to check, and this pawn's not moved yet. So he obviously moves the pawn. To which I reply with check. King moves, check, blocks, and this, threatening this pawn, and the most lethal, this rook. He is like, nah, I'm getting that pawn to the square, the promotion. So I obviously capture the rook. Here he slides. Here I found the great move, which for me was quite obvious. Obviously that's a check, blocks with queen. Then I check, threatening this pawn with the fork. So here he must block since his king can't move. I capture it. The game here wanted me to make perpetual check and basically win win or draw with a perpetual check, or repeating the position, the free-fall repetition. But here I obviously saw that I can just make free-fall repetition or just perpetual check and off a draw. But here 40 seconds, and I thought I can make it. So I went ahead and captured the pawn. He pushes, I check the king. Here the king can't obviously move again, so this is forced. Here I check, this is again the best move. Obviously the queen can go there, so it's not forced really, but it's, yeah, well, forced. So I check again, this is the second position. Here it's again forced. This is also the second position of this. And here the engine again considers this a mistake, because it again wanted me to make the free-fall repetition and draw the game. But I went for this, attacking this pawn and this pawn there. He let this pawn go, so I captured it for free. Here he blundered with this. I was like, oh no, my king, he has 5 seconds, I need to move, I need to do something. So I moved to the king and give him a 62-point advantage with capturing the queen. Obviously he couldn't utilize it because he has 5 seconds. And he checks with 0.7 seconds on the clock. After thinking for 5 seconds, he just plays this. I block to avoid free-fall repetition by him. And there, his clock ends, resulting this in win for me. It was a roller coaster of terrible and more terrible moves, but I still hope you enjoyed it, and it brought you some light to the terrible, terrifying, just bad 1000-elo chess. So that was my game that I again accidentally sort of won, and I hope you enjoyed it, and see you next time.